So today I can report there are 21 new positive cases of COVID-19 in the community, taking the total number of confirmed cases in the current Auckland community outbreak to 72. All cases have been or are being safely transferred to one of our quarantine facilities. Of the 21 new cases, 20 are in Auckland, one is here in Wellington, and that Wellington case was actually first reported yesterday but has just been included in the national tally today, so there remain a total of 6 cases in Wellington. 61 of the cases are now confirmed as part of the Auckland cluster, with the remaining 11 under investigation to confirm a linkage to the outbreak, either epidemiologically or through whole genome sequencing or both, but initial assessment in most cases show an obvious link. On locations of interest, from today, new locations of interest will be published every 2 hours. If there is a significant or urgent location of interest, that will be published immediately. There are already more than 280 locations of interest identified across the motu. And we have also launched a new online search feature to make it easier for people to check for locations of interest. That is alongside the map as well. Now, several of the new cases announced to date are linked to a church service at the Samoan Assembly of God Church in Mangere in Auckland last Sunday, the 15th of August. So anyone at this church between 9 a.m. and 3 p.m. last Sunday, the 15th of August, if you haven't already, you are asked to isolate for 14 days since that exposure on Sunday and be tested immediately. Yesterday, 38,389 tests were processed across the country. So in the last week, more than 127,000 tests have been processed, equivalent to almost 3% of the New Zealand population. Clearly a huge effort.
And today we celebrate 1 million New Zealanders being fully vaccinated against COVID-19. Ministers have also decided, based on advice that we've received and we've been working through over the last few weeks, that record keeping, such as scanning with the COVID-19 Tracer app or manually signing in, will become mandatory for most events and businesses at all alert levels. It's clear that when people use the app or manually sign in rather than relying on their memory, contact tracing can happen much more quickly. And as we know, particularly in light of the situation we're facing with the Delta variant, speed means a lot. So we know from our own and from overseas examples that an outbreak of COVID-19 can be extremely difficult to trace and contain without people having a good record of where they have been and who they've come into contact with. So it will become mandatory to make a record of where you have been in the sorts of places where people gather consistently and in large numbers. That includes cafes, restaurants, bars, casinos, concerts, aged care facilities, healthcare facilities, barbers, exercise facilities, nightclubs, libraries, courts, local and central government agencies and social service providers who have a customer service counter. Places where records are already kept and people are already required to sign in, like gyms and some workplaces, won't need to adjust what they are already doing because they are already complying. In terms of support for essential workers, people will recall that under Alert Level 4 last year we made sure that childcare arrangements were available for essential workers who did not have other arrangements that would allow them to go to work. The government's agreed to put that scheme back in place under Alert Level 4. That will support people such as emergency service workers, border workers, and others who have to go to work at Alert Level 4 to provide quality care for their children. The Ministry of Education is working with 32 different providers across the country, and they're being made available for parents to contact from today. The government has also agreed to put in place an emergency payment scheme for relief teachers and casual support staff, and that these people are not eligible for the wage subsidy. Further information on that will be released by the Ministry of Education. I know people are also keen to know what's happening with schooling and what preparations are underway in the event that some of our young people need to continue to learn from home. We are in the process of purchasing additional devices and making sure that we have additional hard packs of materials available to send out should we need those. We already have 36,000 devices out in schools and kura across the country, supporting year 9 to 13 students to learn from home, and we're supporting 40,000 households to stay connected to the internet where they wouldn't otherwise be able to. Online resources for teachers, parents and students are available on learningfromhome.govt.nz, and the Ki Te Ao Marama websites. They're available in both English and in Māori. The on-demand content from the home learning and Māori Reo Māori TV stations that were set up during the last lockdown continue to be available to TVNZ on demand. If we do need to extend the use of those services, we will be able to stand up those Learning from Home TV channels again and add new content if that's necessary. I want to finish by reiterating what the Prime Minister said yesterday. Remember to look out for your friends, neighbours and your family. Do they need supplies? Are they lonely? Drop them a text, give them a call. Do check up on them. Hearing a familiar voice or just listening can help people to feel connected and cared for. It's a small but important thing that we can all do. Please stay in your bubble. You just need to look across to our friends in Australia to see how people flouting the rules can drive ongoing transmission within the community. That would keep extending lockdown further, as it has done in Australia. If we all stay in our bubbles, if we all resist the urge to travel unless it's essential, however tempting it might be, then we can we can all contribute to getting through this. The vast majority of New Zealanders are doing the right thing. I want to extend a very warm thank you to all of you for that. The last thing that we want to see is post-lockdown transmission, so keep it local, wear a mask and keep your distance. When buying your groceries, wear a mask and sign in using the app or the book.